and welcome to Everything About Cricket, the podcast, episode 3. I'm Freddie.
And I'm Oliver.
And today, for New Year's special, we will be looking back at 2020 and be doing a top 20 of the cricketing moments and ranking them as we see fit.
Yeah, so I'll start with number 20. And this one's one that none of you are going to guess. It's it's the Germans women's team going unbeaten in their 9 T20 internationals this year, including some phenomenal results. In one game against Austria, they scored 198 for none in a T20, with one of their openers scoring a century. And then one of their bowlers took 5 wickets for 1 run in 3 overs.
Great man.
I'm pretty sure it was the first 100 ever scored for Germany.
Yeah.
And then the first 5 ever for Germany, both in the same match.
Very thrilling. And
a worthy number 20.
Yes, definitely. It was being posted up on the ICC Instagram. So all you proper badgers out there would have already known about this. But yes, that gets us straight into it. Number 20. At number 19, just as important, really. Hard to pick between the two, but it was the Australia versus New Zealand behind closed doors. It was the first ever match behind closed doors this season, as obviously COVID had to come and ruin 2020.
And they played in the retro kits, which was nice.
It was very cool.
Okay, then at number 18, we've gone the Trinbago Knight Riders winning the CPL with an unbeaten campaign. I think they've definitely won it once or twice before, but never this comprehensively. They have a star-studded lineup, really. Dwayne Bravo, Kieron Pollard, who produce excellent knocks. In the final, they beat Guyana by 4 wickets in a rain-affected game with 2 balls left.
Ooh, it was very close indeed. And coming after the CPL at number 17 was the Rajasthan Royals game against the Punjab. Now, this game was very thrilling. The Punjab setting 223 for 2, with Agarwal having 100 to his name. And the opening partnership got to 183. Even though they were confident, Rajasthan Royals chased it down in a thriller, and Rahul Tewatia scored 5 sixes in a row at the crucial stages of the match.
Yeah. Sanju Samson and Steve Smith also scoring half centuries in that game. Then in at number 16, it's another IPL moment, and showing a bit of British bias here. It's Ben Stokes scoring 107 for the Rajasthan Royals, opening the batting for them, which a lot of people were questioning up until that innings where he proved them all wrong. Scoring, I think, his second IPL 100 ever, and seeing them over the line in a great chase. Yeah.
Very good game to relive.
Yes.
So coming in at 15 is the England versus Australia ODIs, which took place this summer, also behind closed doors, as it was in the latter parts of the season. It was quite a good series where both England and Australia picked up wins. Sam Billings scored his first century, I believe. Yep. And pretty entertaining series to a dull year, really.
In the final game, Glenn Maxwell and Alex Carey had a 212-run partnership, both scoring hundreds, to get Australia chased 305 with 2 balls left to win the series 2-1.
Yes.
So that's the first 5 in our countdown. And now it's time for Are You Better Than a Big Bash Umpire? Hello and welcome to Are You Better Than a Big Bash Umpire? So last time, I think we got 2 out of 3 correct. Let's see if we can do better this time. Okay. So this scenario is a wicketkeeper is injured and leaves the field. He is replaced by the 12th man and his captain dons the gloves. The captain has a nightmare behind the wickets, conceding numerous byes and dropping catches. He wants to give the gloves to one of his specialist close catchers. Can you allow this second change?
You always used to change keepers throughout a match.
Yeah, I think you can, because my team always does halfway through, because we don't have a wicket keeper.
Or whether or not you can, maybe we just are rebels in the games. But I think you can.
Yeah,
you don't see it that high up because you normally got a spare wicketkeeper anyway. But yeah.
Okay.
We'll go with...
So yes, you can permit this change with permission from both umpires. The wicketkeeper can be replaced by a specialist substitute wicketkeeper.
Right. And if the umpire says no, then I presume you're not allowed.
Yeah, I don't really see why the umpire would say no, but
he just might not like. He might just not like you, you know.
Okay. Next one. In a village match, the wicketkeeper appeals for a catch behind the wicket. You signal the batsman out, but the batsman tells the wicketkeeper his bat didn't touch the ball. Shamefaced, the wicketkeeper agrees. Can the batsman who has been given out resume his innings?
In a village match, especially, yes.
Yeah.
I remember the field. I was playing a match. The ball hit me nearly at my waist, and the appeal field B was walking off. They called me back on because they said, "Well, it was never out." So,
bravo.
Very good sportsmanship there. But yeah, I mean, you do have to have some opponents who are quite nice. But yeah, that is definitely allowed, surely.
So it says in here, having given the striking batsman out, you can stick with your decision if you are convinced you were right. But in this case, I would call dead ball, signal to the scorers that you revoke the decision and call not out, and allow the batsman to resume his innings, and thank the wicketkeeper for their honesty.
Yes, do thank the wicketkeeper. Always thank the batsman, bowler, whoever it is, for any honesty they show.
Yes.
Cricket is a good game of etiquette.
Okay, and so we got 2 out of 2 so far. They have been a bit easier than
They have been very easy ones, especially that we've been in instances involving them as well.
Okay, the third and final one. In a county match, an injured batsman who has a runner hammers the ball through the air directly at the runner, who ducks as the ball hits him and rebounds straight to a fielder who catches the ball and appeals. Is the batsman out?
And it's not touched the floor?
Yeah.
I do think it's out, because there was a rule which stopped certain runners. If you weren't injured during the match, you couldn't have a runner, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it happened. It's happened in a match where it happened with a non-striker.
Yeah.
Hit a non-striker, you can still be caught. So I assume it's still the same thing for runners.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, because it's out if it's the non-striker, so it must be the same. Yes, he is out. The runner is part of play, and the ball never touched the ground. The catch is therefore fair.
It's just very unlucky. Just very unlucky.
Yeah, that's 3 out of 3.
Well done.
Give yourself a pat on the back. We are better than the Big Bash umpires.
We are indeed.
And we'll be playing this game again next week.
Do join in.
Yes. Now at number 14, we've got New Zealand's dominance in the Test arena. After their win over Pakistan, they finished the year with 5 wins and no losses. And it's bumped them up to number 1 in the world rankings, with their star batsman and captain Kane Williamson at number 1 in the batting rankings, and Neil Wagner at 2nd in the bowling rankings. It's looking like they have a very strong team, and it's looking like it's going to be a good 2021 for New Zealand, especially with new talent coming through such as Kyle Jamieson, and they gave a debut to Will Young, who's a top order batsman. which is probably the only thing slightly shaky about their team would be Tom Blundell, maybe. So you've got a replacement for him there.
Yeah, very well put, Shuki.
Thank you.
Coming in at number 13 is Zach Crawley's amazing 267 against Pakistan in the England-Pakistan Test Series. This was his debut. Well, debut a lot of things really. Debut 150 plus, debut 200 plus, debut 250. But yeah, it was an amazing innings.
It was.
I can't remember the exact time he was in for, but
I can try and find it.
It was a good.
I imagine it was a long time.
At least 8 hours, I'd say.
Yeah. Set up what should have been a win for England in the test, but it got rained off in the end.
Yeah, unfortunately. English weather at its finest.
Yeah.
But
583 for 8 England scored. Crawley was in for 9 hours and 1 minute.
9 hours and a minute. That's
concentration.
At its finest, yes.
Okay, so next in at number 12 is the resumption of Test match cricket and the tour of West Indies to England, which of course we're all very grateful for, to see some cricket this year, and played a 3 Test match series, and West Indies won the first test in dramatic circumstances by 4 wickets, but England just had too much for them in the next 2, England winning the series 2-1.
Yeah. And coming in now at number 11 was the India versus New Zealand Test series, where New Zealand won 2-0.
They did.
Yes, and that just shows you there how formidable New Zealand are as a side, beating India. I can't remember how close it was, but...
Oh, neither of them were close. In the first test, they chased 9 in the final innings to win. And in the second, they chased 132. So what they won both comfortably.
New Zealand, the dominant force there. If you can easily beat India by those big margins, you are definitely deserving top spot in the world, as they are.
And then also just to mention, in the T20 series, India struck back. They won that 5-0, but it included 2 super over games in a row. And India obviously won both to just add more to New Zealand's super over woes.
Yes, after one in the T20 series with England and obviously one in the World Cup final. But New Zealand did win 3-0 in the ODIs as well. So the real series, all formats went to New Zealand there, really.
Yeah. So that's the bottom 10 completed. Now we move on to the top 10. And we're starting off with a bang, going all the way back to January, when there were crowds in stadiums, of course.
Yep.
And we have got the second test match between England and South Africa. England had gone 1-0 down in the series, and they needed a big performance, and that's exactly what they got in the second test, which was a very tight encounter. Went all the way to the last few minutes of the day, even. Dom Sibley scored his maiden Test match 100 in that game. Ben Stokes scored 72 as well to set up an England declaration, providing South Africa with a target of 438. They provided valiant resistance, batting for 137 overs, but just couldn't get to the finish line to force a draw. With some more Ben Stokes heroics, as always. Taking the last 3 wickets within the space of 12 overs to win England the game and level the series that they later won by 3 Test matches to 1.
Yes. Now, moving on to number 9 in the list, it's Ben Stokes being top scorer in the world for 2020.
For Test cricket.
Cricket. So yes, in Test cricket in 2020. No, well, sorry. When I meant 2020, I meant the year, not in the format. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the year 2020, he was top scorer for Test match cricket, and his form continued throughout the 2019 season into the shorter season of 2020. And yeah, you can't really criticise Ben Stokes.
Yeah, I think he got 200s, did he? He definitely got at least one against West Indies.
Yeah, he scored a few half centuries as well there.
Oh, not just any 100 as well. 176 against West Indies.
Uh-huh.
And then 78 in the second innings.
Mm-hmm.
So not bad. The second innings was opening the batting to set up a declaration at well under a runner ball.
Yeah.
And then in the third test, he didn't. He only scored 20, but we'll let him off. He's allowed one test.
Just this once, though.
But yeah, topping the run scoring charts after a stellar 2019. He just gets better.
Yeah, can't fault him.
So then in at number 8, we have the Mumbai Indians winning their 6th IPL title. They beat the Delhi Capitals, I think it was, in the final.
Yes.
And Rohit Sharma, their captain, leading them to victory. Star player would have been Surya Kumar Yadav throughout the tournament for them, with many saying he should have then been picked for the Indian national team, but unfortunately for him, he just missed out. In the final, Rohit Sharma, captain's knock, scored 68, and then Ishan Kishan 33 to see them over the line with an over and a bit to spare.
Yes. Now coming in at number 7, we have one of 2 great achievements for some great bowlers. Stuart Broad picking up his 500th Test wicket.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Jimmy Anderson, real duo. They've been actually voted duo of the decade, I believe, in the ICC polls on Instagram anyway, at least. They are the 2 which really, not just this year, but just seeing through in these last 5 or more than that, over 5 years, 10 years of Test match cricket.
Yeah, got him nominated for Sports Personality of the Year as well.
Yes, it did.
Didn't get top 3 there.
I was surprised that Jimmy Anderson didn't get a nominee.
Yeah.
But
I think Stuart Broad had the better year overall.
Yeah,
although Anderson got the better milestone.
Yeah.
And also, Stuart Broad also yesterday on New Year's Day got engaged. So,
congrats to him.
Yeah.
Although I do have to say Stuart Broad's had better fielding off his bowling this season.
Yeah. Then in at number 6 we have the New Zealand-Pakistan Boxing Day Test match.
Which we
talked a lot about in the last episode.
Just missed out top 5.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be up there with one of the best Test matches this year.
Mm-hmm.
New Zealand 431 in the first innings. Kane Williamson with 100 as always.
Yep.
And then they took 6 wickets in the final session to win the game, despite Fawad Alam's 100, silencing all the critics.
Yeah, his first one in 10 years.
11 years, yeah.
11 years, over 10 years, God. But, you've got to love the way he plays.
Yeah. And Neil Wagner also taking 2 wickets, despite having 2 broken toes.
Yes.
And which has now ruled him out of the second test.
Very unfortunate, that.
Yeah. So now we'll have a quick break for Guess the Cricketer before we go to the top 5. Hello
and welcome back to Guess the Cricketer. I am today going to be testing Shuki, and I lead the series 1-0, but this is obviously Shuki's game in hand, as it were. So,
yeah. And I've got a chance for 3 points here if I get it on the first clue.
yes, you could go well clear. So
It would be a bit of an anti-climax if I just got it straight away, though.
it would be. It would be. So, this cricketer, he was a batsman for the Windies. Well, definitely a batsman. Who averaged 58.61 over 48 Test matches, played nearly 70 years ago.
Nearly 70 years ago?
Yes, well, more like 60, but you know.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not even going to make a guess.
Well, he died earlier this year.
Okay.
That's your second clue.
Is it I think I know him actually. Is it Everton Weekes?
Oh, I'm not sure if I can give you that because you didn't mention the Sir. Nah, but you got it. Well done, Shuki. You get 2 points for that in 2 clues. The other clue would have been one of the Windies England Test matches when summer resumed was held in his memory. With the black arm straps being worn for him and a minute silence at the start of the match. That's a good guess, Shuki, and you go 2-1 up in the series.
Get in. What a start.
Yes, and I thought I was going to make it hard for you. Although the first clue made it very hard. 60 years ago, averaged 58.61 in 48 Test matches. Couldn't be anyone. So
when you were saying that, I was thinking like Chanderpaul or someone. But then you mentioned 60 years ago.
Yeah. So, well, I wish now you would have mentioned Chad because obviously it would have been a wasted guess. But then they don't really matter, do they? Your guesses if you get it. So anyway.
All right.
Thank you for joining us.
2-1 up.
Yep, Shuki's 2-1 up. Joining next week for where I try and resume my lead in the series.
Yeah.
Hello, and we resume the countdown at number 5. Taking the 5th spot, is England versus Ireland in the ODIs, and in particular the 3rd ODI, in which England put on a 329 total, and Ireland chased it down with great
one ball left.
With 1 ball left to go, and great innings, including Sterling's inning of
142.
142, yes, 142. And that's so high up, oddly, as Ireland, a team who aren't even in the top, or barely top 10, I think. I'm not even sure if they're in the top 10. Beat the country who are ranked top in the world. Although it wasn't nowhere near the side, it's still a great victory.
But it's not like England played particularly badly. England scored 328. No. Owen Morgan scored 100, and then they chased it down just 3 wickets down with 1 ball left.
Yeah.
Sterling and Balbirnie both making hundreds.
Yeah.
A monumental win for Ireland.
Yes, it was.
So next at number 4 is another moment in the English Test match summer. And this is the first test between England and Pakistan, in which Pakistan scored 326 in the first innings, thanks to Shan Masood's marathon innings of 156.
Mm-hmm.
And Babar Azam also scoring a 50. Then England got bowled out for 219, only Ollie Pope making a 50, who is his birthday today, just to mention as well.
Happy birthday to him.
Yeah. Yasir Shah took 4 wickets. Then England got back into the game with the ball. Broad taking 3, Woakes and Stokes 2 each to bowl Pakistan out for 169, setting England a daunting but not impossible total of 277 to win. This was made all the more unlikely when England fell to 117 for 5 The classic England top order collapse. After looking good with Sibley and Root set, Yasser Shah again took 4 wickets. But then, out of nowhere, Joss Butler, who had no form all summer, and Chris Woakes, who is, I consider him an all-rounder, but I know people who don't.
But they took the reins, didn't they?
Woakes scored 84 not out, Butler 75 to see England home, and that ended up being vital as the next 2 matches were rained off.
Exactly, yes. So, now we get into the top 3.
The top 3.
A few of them fairly recent as well. I mean, very recent.
Yeah.
And number 3, bronze medal goes to India versus Australia in the first Test match. Now, this Test match only a couple weeks ago, was where India set a rather decent total where they felt comfortable, and Australia with the bat did all right. They recovered a bit towards the end of the first innings, getting to
by about 50 or 60, I think.
Yeah, India very much in the driving seat at the end of day 2. But then something unprecedented happened, where India got their lowest total ever in Test match history, getting bowled out for 36. And that allowed Australia to comfortably ease home for a victory in the first and opening Test match of the series.
Yep. Hazelwood took 5 for 8 in that second innings, and Cummins proved why he's the world number 1 bowler with 4 wickets as well.
Yes.
So Australia had taken a 1-0 lead in the series. India were without their captain, Virat Kohli. They were without Rohit Sharma. Mohammad Shami was out through injury.
Mm-hmm.
And they had made 4 changes to their side for the second test, which comes in at number 2 on our rankings.
Yes.
Of India's massive bounce back, and what Ravi Shastri, the Indian coach, described as one of the best comebacks of all time in Indian cricket. Ajinkya Rahane, the star, scoring 100. Bumrah and Ashwin also were phenomenal with the ball. And Australia weren't brilliant with the bat, but that was more due to Indian bowling than Australian batting weakness. Mm-hmm. Setting up the series with 2 tests to go at 1-1, and
it resumes in a couple of days.
Yeah, the 6th, I think.
Yes.
Now we come to the number 1 moment of 2020 in cricket.
Now, drum roll, please. It goes to none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jimmy James Anderson. He obviously got his 600th Test wicket for England. A great milestone indeed versus Pakistan. Conditions were quite good for him in the series, with some cloud cover.
Some, I think, is an understatement. 2 tests rained off. He almost missed it for rain. Just to get it in with about half an hour left in the summer. Yeah,
and the England fielding side were out to try and deprive them of it, but they were unsuccessful, thankfully.
Yeah. Stuart Broad dropping a catch and then running the fielder out.
Yes, so
on the floor.
Yes. But
and was not a happy boy then, but he was the next day when he got Azhar Ali out for his 600 wicket.
Yes,
the first ever seamer to pass 600 wickets
in Test match history.
Yeah. And hopefully he'll soon become the first Test match seamer ever to pass 350 wickets.
Exactly.
Did I say 350? I meant 650.
650, yeah. 650. Or 700, you never know.
You never know.
But I think that's a perfect way to top off the top 20. There were a few which just missed the cut, which I won't go into too much detail about. But there were a few which missed the cut. Do let us know in the comments below.
And we'll be missing the cut of this episode as well.
Okay, if that's the case, I will be mentioning them. There was many of them. Romania, beating Bulgaria 3-1, Malta beating Bulgaria 2-0, and Germany drawing to Spain 1-1 in the series. But a few missed the cut very closely, but we do think that was all basically what happened this year. And do let us know your top 20 or what you would change about it in the comments below.
And no one can say it's English bias because England played about double as much cricket as anyone else this year. So
it's the majority England in there anyway. But
yeah.
I think we divvied it up quite nicely.
Yeah. So 2021 looking like a good year for cricket.
Certainly.
Hopefully we'll be back here next year doing a review of 2021.
Hopefully
maybe we'll have to do 21 moments then.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll have 21,000 odd subscribers.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have 2021.
2021.
The viewer numbers.
Yes, that would go up a lot, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
From our current 50.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you very much.
Like, subscribe, tell your friends.
And most of all, Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year. Hope 2021 is better in every way.
In every way.
Goodbye, Freddie.
Goodbye, Shuki. See you next week.
Next week.